my biggest hits. The Short of False Death is by far my best hit, maybe with the aspect, because I got the hectic aspect on it. Do you want to know the odds to get an plus aspect on your mythic or your unique item on the new Diablo 4 Season 11 PTR on Sanctification? Well, I crafted and sanctified 130 mythics for you, 128 uniques, and on top of that, I also sanctified 33 weapon mythics in, and I want to share the results with you. So hey guys, what's up? Angron with my sanctification update. So as you can see, I sanctified 33 mythic weapons and I tried to get an offensive aspect. And well, you won't like the results of it. My biggest hits, the Short of False Death is by far my best hit, maybe with the aspect, because I got the hectic aspect on it, and especially because I'm playing with a lot of Capilica. This is pretty great. So I have now an inherent cool reduction, but still it has a lower min value than you can normally get. And also I got a half petition with 3 proficiency skills, which can be pretty great for your payback, because you can turn your payback into a core skill, or also your Touch of Death, which you can also turn into a core skill. So this is also pretty huge for a half petition. And I also got the hectic aspect on my half petition. And then I also, as I've shown you, the game strength for your Rod of Capilica. So the flicker step also got a hectic aspect on it. And I also got plus 3 to defensive skills for Tibalt's Will. Also I got the aspect where you're gonna get life after you cast a skill on your half petition. This can also be kind of cool in some occasions, but also one of the biggest hit was my Melted Heart of Silic, where I got a plus 2 to all skills on it. That was pretty great, and I was pretty excited with that. And a Melted Heart of Silic with defensive skills cooldown 11% faster while you're moving. It is for Spiritborn, not that special. All of my Ring of Stylus Guys plus aspects were kind of all the same. As you can see, for Ring of Stylus Guys, I got the same aspect most of the time. The resource gain when you heal, I think it's a resource one or a defensive one. And I also got this on like 3 of my Ring of Stylus Guys, actually on 4 of my Ring of Stylus Guys. So yeah, this was pretty nasty, and that unfortunately is not great at the moment. In addition, the Harlequin's Crest also got the defensive ones. So Rushing Claw is the defensive one, Reinforced Cooldown is the defensive one, and also the Damaging Barrier. Then I also got some Short of False Death, but they were also kind of bad, and these were all of my hits for my sanctification. So as you can see, I sanctified 128 of my unique ones. I sanctified Harmony of Ebewaka, Root of Kepeleke, Wushinakpa, Loyalty, some Flicker Step. These are some general ones. Temerity, Fist of Fate, Hesha Kensugi, Tibalt's Will, and the Emissary Boots. The new boots from the Spiritborn. This was my second attempt. I also, like I said, previous attempt, 128 attempts are also a pretty good sample size. So now let's gonna start with the most interesting one, and that's the aspect one. And honestly, it's looking pretty grim for Unix, because we only got like a 5.46 chance to get an plus aspect. And on top of that, I have a theory that you cannot get an offensive aspect right now, because I sanctified so many Hipelekas, so many Wushis, and I also sanctified 33 mythic weapons. I also sanctified 6 Ring of Stylus Guys with a plus aspect, 2 Silics with a plus aspect, and I didn't get a single offensive one. So I think right now it's either bugged or it's intended that you cannot get an offensive aspect, but then it would be giga bad, because most of the aspects were pretty bad. I will also show them to you. First of all, the aspects is kind of cool in theory, but right now it's pretty garbage when you're gonna hit them. Although I got a pretty cool one. So the Flicker Step was a really good hit. The Flicker Step got the casting 5 basic skills. One of your active cooldown is reduced by up to 1 second. It can even roll below your min value, so I hope they will also fix this. So this can be pretty good for an evade build, because you can reduce now the cooldowns of your build. This is pretty high and pretty nice. And on top of that, we got a Tibalt's Will, but with a pretty garbage effect. And also that Tibalt's Will got like a cool effect that you're gonna get life when you cast a skill. In addition, the other Tibalt's Will got the days effects last longer. And also while we're unstoppable, we are unhindered and have increased movement speed. And then also after we got injured, we are gonna be unstoppable. So yeah, these are the unique ones with the plus aspect. So not really huge hits. So I still hope they will kind of fix this spec up, because this will have a huge chance to be a really good thing. So then we also got the greater affix, and honestly these are nothing special with 25%. So as you can see, these are the second largest hits. And after that, we gotta get the plus affix with a 37.5% chance to get them. And with the plus affix, most of them are pretty generic with things like all stats or something on them. Lightning damage multiplicative. This can be really good for things like your quill volley, but I also got a kind of interesting one on my Rod of Kepeleke. Gem strength in this item up to 200%. So this can be kind of interesting. Unfortunately, most of your gems in the weapon slots are not that good. This can also drop on your amulet, so you can then also get like a better Aura's gem. This is a pretty cool one, but this was only one hit out of 100 or 130 uniques, or I think 2 hits. So this was pretty rare, and these are things that I want to see way more often, not things like total armor, dexterity, all such. These are pretty boring ones. Give us only sanctified affixes that you only can get through sanctification. So then the replace affix. I get 2 Kepelekes with replace affix. So this Rod of Kepeleke reroll my critical strike damage for maximum life. That's pretty bad. So yeah, they still need to get some other things than to replace affix, because this will completely break your items. And then I also got indestructible, like the most boring effects, got like 23% and the third highest. So the most seen one was the plus affix, then greater affix, then indestructible. Replace affix was pretty low, and then aspect was 5.4 seconds. So now to the mythic ones. I sanctified 130 of my mythic ones, and as you can see, the plus affix was by far the highest one. Then the aspect one, so this was pretty cool. This was only the second highest one, because I didn't sanctify any of my weapon mythics. With some weapon mythics, this would be way lower, but still pretty great. I got 2 Celix, 6 Ring of Starless Skies, 5 Petition, 4 Shorts, and 4 Shakos. I also got 1 or 2 pretty good hits, which I will also show you after we went through these chances here. And then the plus affix was also, some of them were kind of good, but most of them were just resource cost reduction, some multiplicative damage, and some armor maximum life here. So nothing special. Then the greater affix, also kind of okay. And the replace affix, honestly, I think one time the Selig rerolled my all stats, and that kind of basically bricked my Selig amulet. So this feels pretty bad on a mythic one. And on a shaker, I think also one time it rerolled my cooler reduction. So this was only 5%, but it definitely can happen. And the indestructible was 23%. The third highest one will be 100% in total. So now, first of all, I want to show you the weapon mythics, because after I went through all of my sanctification results, there were some suspicious things going on, because I had so many offensive sanctification with aspects like Ring of Starless Skies, in total 8 1, and also the Melted Heart of Selig, like 2 or 3 ones, and none of them got even an offensive aspect. So I tried to sanctify 33 of my mythic weapons, because with the mythic weapons or mythic items in general, you have kind of the highest chance to get the aspects, and I didn't get a single of offensive aspect one. So I think it is right now bugged that you cannot get an offensive aspect one, because as you can see, all of them got either indestructible one, affix replace, greater affix, or an plus affix. So that's a huge problem for Blizzard, and I hope that's not intended, because otherwise this would be kinda really crap. I will also report this on the Blizzard forum, and I hope they will fix this. So I sanctified a lot of items, and especially with the 130 mythic items, that's way more than I ever found in Diablo 4, and that's across like 10 seasons. So yeah, Blizzard still need to heavily change the odds in our favor. We can get excited when we get a huge hit, and especially they need to kind of enable offensive sanctifications on the mythic items. And also the unique ones are still not that great either for the specs ones. So if you have some questions on this topic, please ask them in the comments down below. I had a lot of fun opening them. I will also put out another video in my process where I sanctified all of the items. I hope you enjoyed this video, and also follow me on my Twitch, TikTok, and subscribe on my YouTube channel if you want to follow more of my Diablo 4 content. And until next video, bye!